A former WWE superstar who was released a long time ago, at least that's what it feels like, is now teasing a return, and more specifically, it looks like this return could be happening under AEW. We're going to talk about who it is and how I would fantasy book this as well. Also, WWE could very well be planning a very, very massive match for the UK pay-per-view, so I kind of want to chime in with my thoughts on that. Plus, AEW is pulling talent from indie events. We're going to explain why. And yeah, if you guys want more videos like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button, ring the bell. This way you can get notified every single time a new video drops. And of course, don't forget, I'm uploading 7 days a week, so this way you will never miss out on whatever's happening in pro wrestling. With that being said, Tyson Fury and Drew McIntyre. You guys might remember when Tyson Fury arrived to WWE when they had their Saudi Arabia show. Now it appears that Tyson Fury is looking a little bit further into a career with WWE. Tyson Fury just had a great fight against Dillian White. And then, of course, Tyson Fury did end the fight early. And with that, I think it pretty much cements that Tyson Fury is one of the best heavyweight fighters of all time. I think that argument is definitely there. And if you like pro wrestling, if you like sports entertainment, and you are one for celebrities, I'm not sure how you can hate this idea of Drew McIntyre versus Tyson Fury taking place in a stadium in the UK. I'm not saying it's going to be the best match. I'm not saying it is going to be a great match. I don't know what type of stuff Tyson Fury is going to do in the ring, especially because it appears that Tyson Fury is also looking at potentially having a fight against UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou. Now, with that being said, I do see Tyson Fury in WWE as a massive thing for WWE because of the fact that Tyson Fury is one of the very few relevant boxers today. And I very well stand by that. Boxing as a sport at times could be very fun and exciting, but I think it lacks promotion. And Tyson Fury, at least when he's fighting, people are talking about it. And I think that is exactly what WWE is aiming to do here, especially because of the crowd in the UK. You know, it's going to be a massive, massive event. If you guys have ever seen Tyson Fury's walkouts for his championship fights in boxing, you would also know that they're very WrestleMania-esque. They're very, very special. And WWE would more than likely try to draw this out as a very, very big mainstream appeal. And, you know, like I said, maybe the wrestling part of it won't be good. I don't know. I think Drew McIntyre and Tyson Fury will be fun to watch. It almost makes me think that Drew McIntyre could actually take the belt off of Roman Reigns to pull this off. That would be very interesting to see as well. I wouldn't agree with that booking, but I can see WWE doing it because of this match being very, very massive. All right, guys, Dante Martin and a few other AEW wrestlers are being pulled off of indie events. According to PW Torch, AEW has moved a dark taping originally slated for Saturday, April 30th to Sunday, May 1st. And because of this, JD Drake, Dante Martin, and Wheeler Yuta are no longer booked for PWG. Also, Lee Moriarty is not going to be appearing at Black Label Pro because AEW will have a very, very busy month with these shows. Now, of course, I think a lot of people are expecting me to bag on AEW here, but actually I agree with this 100%. You know, AEW, it's very nice of them as a company to allow their talent to work these other events and work these indies, but AEW is the one who is shelling out guaranteed money, and because they're doing that, that to me signifies that they should always have priority booking talent. I see a lot of people who are, and it's so strange, but I guess this is just the way social media works. I see a lot of people, they are trying to say that perhaps AEW is, you know, hypocrites, right? Oh, we only let you work indies when we let you. Like, that doesn't make sense. I don't know why that's even an argument. I think it's stupid. I think it's a waste of time. Honestly, I think those are just the trolls because AEW obviously has these talent contracted. And the idea that these guys have the freedom to go work indie events is great, but it's even better with knowing that they're a priority to AEW, right? Like, maybe AEW Dark isn't that important, but AEW is prioritizing Dark over an indie show, and that's the way it should be. And I think that's a good business decision. I don't really understand why there's always, like, you know, anytime WWE or AEW do something good, somebody tries to find the bad for it. And while it does look, you know, when you read the headlines, oh, pulling talent from, you know, indie events, blah, blah, yeah, it might appear negative, but then when you actually start to think about it, like, a lot of these talent, like, they're contracted to AEW. That's how it is. They work for AEW first, then they go do the indie shows. It sucks that they're being pulled from the events, but ultimately they can make up the events when it doesn't conflict with AEW. All right, guys, you may have heard the rumors for a while. It's not the first time we've been talking about this individual, but it is exciting to hear a little bit more about this. We're talking about Bo Dallas. In fact, this picture that you see on the screen is Bo Dallas and Bray Wyatt, and the reason why I have both of them on here is because I'm going to do a little bit of fantasy booking. But when I think of Bo Dallas, I think a lot of people, maybe they're not too familiar with what Bo Dallas had done in NXT back in the day. And Bo Dallas is very character-centric, and he can also wrestle too. He had some great stuff happening with Neville. He had a lot of great stuff when he was bringing the Bo Leave gimmick to the main roster. But I feel like a lot of people never really got to see how much range he actually has as a wrestler. And it's really exciting because basically, for those who are not aware, Bo Dallas recently appeared at the For the Love of Wrestling show. It's an event, question and fan meetup and all this different stuff, right? And basically what happens here is there was a question that was asked to Bo Dallas about a run in AEW. Now, he actually said he has plans to wrestle again within the next 3 months, and he also has his sights set on one of his greatest opponents in NXT. Now, this is really exciting stuff for a couple reasons, but for anybody who is familiar with Bo Dallas, and I want to say it was 2013 or 2014. I'm not good with dates, but 2013 or 2014, Bo Dallas had a feud with Adrian Neville, who is known as Pac, right? Probably one of the biggest and most important things Bo Dallas did in WWE was feud with Neville. And this was just such a great time period for NXT as it was. If Bo Dallas is coming to AEW, not only is that absolutely amazing, but his brother is also not signed anywhere. And you never know how this thing goes, right? The Rotunda brothers can very well be separate. They can be separated and they could be in different companies. One cannot return, one can return, whatever it may be. But the way I would look at this is if Bo Dallas, with all this teasing that he's doing and actually being open to talking about this and stuff and actually saying he's going to return. Because last time we talked about Bo Dallas, we were talking about how he just does a YouTube channel and he wasn't looking at getting back into it. But if Bo Dallas is in a situation where he's going to return to wrestling, I think he needs to do it in a way that makes the biggest impact. Now, technically, yes, he can go to Impact Wrestling. Yes, he can go to WWE. But I would like to see what AEW can do with Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas together as a tag team. I've always been fascinated about the idea of them doing this. There's always been talks and rumors of Bo Dallas joining the Wyatt family. If you've seen Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas both with beards, they look very similar, obviously. And I think from an appearance standpoint, you can put them together and brand them together. I don't know if Bray Wyatt's going to do a Fiend character if and whenever he returns to wrestling. But if I was AEW, I would love to see both of them in the tag team division. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm just being honest. Like, you look at the World Championship title picture, and I just think right now there's a lot of people in line for it, right? I think MJF, CM Punk, Wardlow, I think Adam Cole. Like, there's quite a few names right now that I feel like should be headed for that championship. But you could still bring in Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas in the tag team division. And I would just see them as tweeners. I would take out baby faces, take out the heels. I mean, literally they could form their own group. I don't know. I'm very curious to see what happens, but we'll find out when it does. His time frame is 3 months. So the next 3 months, there's obviously a lot of big events happening. Double or Nothing is happening. So it's just something to be mindful of, and we'll kind of go from there. But when we hear more updates, guys, I'll let you know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace.